Al Gildard dropped in today. He does the Little Frog Show every Sunday morning called what is it called?
It's called High Desert Spotlight.
High Desert Spotlight, all right.
Mackerel.
Well, when you get elderly, you're going to get like that. Listen, it's good to have you with us all the time because you're good to talk about on most any subject, but there's something on your mind. I know that you're involved in all kinds of things that happen in Hesperia, and you're fostering a meeting over there that you need to tell us about. Well,
first of all, I'm not fostering it. I'm part of a group of people. I happen to be the one who's here talking about it right now, but it's the City Council and a majority of the members of the Water Board recently held a joint meeting and voted to make the Water District a subsidiary district of the city. In other words, to merge the two together. There's quite a few of us who feel that this is an important enough issue that the entire community should vote upon this issue. Let's face it, water is the source of lifeblood for a community, and the ramifications of merging these two together are such that we feel the public should make that decision, and that they should be able to hear all sides of the issue before the decision is made. And with them voting the ordinances they did, that doesn't have to happen at this point.
What you're saying is the board of directors for the Water Board and the City Council can get together and say, okay, let's do it or let's don't do it.
Right.
They can make the decision.
That's what has happened at this point. There is a provision in the process that if you get petitions signed by 50% of the voters in the community, which is a horrendous number of people, that you can have this thing either one, stopped, or two, brought to a vote. Well, whether you're for or against merger isn't the issue of why we're having this meeting Wednesday evening at Lime Street Park. The issue is if you believe that this issue should be brought to a vote of the people, we're asking you to show up at Lime Street Community Center at 7:30 on February 14th, and we will see if there's a response enough. We will start petition drives within the community to try and generate those signatures.
Let me interrupt you for just a minute, Al.
Okay.
I think this is the kind of thing, now this specific thing that we're talking about, this meeting and the merger of the water district and the city, this is of interest mainly to Hesperia viewers. But the fact is, these kinds of issues in our burgeoning communities in the desert, we're going to have a lot of other cities, new cities, and new communities, and they're facing these kinds of
decisions. We have established cities that are facing them too.
Are we talking about a principle here, Al, where people ought to be involved?
Well, I think we are. I think we're really talking about the democratic process. This is a microcosm of it. When you're talking, cities love to acquire everything they can within their domain, and it gives them, it's the power trip to a certain extent, and it's a control trip too.
Well, sometimes that's good.
Well, it is, and sometimes it's bad, and the people are the ones who should make that evaluation because it's their community. Regardless of what community it is, if you're taking two governmental entities and saying, we're going to put them together, and it's those governing boards that are saying that, which is basically a handful of people, the public should be the one that's really involved in that.
All right, let's talk about a couple of the reasons, pro or con. Everybody talks about money. Merger or non-merger, which is the better financially?
It depends on who you're talking to in this particular instance. In some cases, it's depending on the kind of merger. If you're talking water and city, let's talk that generically. Cities will benefit because cities, the way California is structured now, can't raise their tax rates. Let's face it, nobody's going to vote for a tax increase. You have a water subsidiary within your city, you can always raise those water rates to generate more revenue. So that's one way that you can say the city has the positive benefit out of it. You look at the community that's involved, and it might be more cost efficient to keep them separate, to keep control of your water rates and keep that entity separate. I mean, there's pros and cons depending on which way you want to look at it. But the people should be the one that, in my opinion, are making these, in a sense, life and death decisions over the futures of their communities.
The problem is people may not know what the issues are all about. They don't know.
Well, if they are not allowed to bring this to a vote to where you have the pros and the cons, airing both sides of the issue in the public forum, of debate and information being generated out to the people, they'll never know. If you have 9 or 10 people in a room make a decision among themselves in which the media is only looking at the top of the iceberg, the public will never know. And that's even more frightening than saying, well, they may not be informed by the process.
Al, we've got to quit here. One more time, tell our viewers in Hesperia particularly when this meeting and where.
Okay, the meeting is for those who live in Hesperia who are concerned about this coming to a vote of the public. The meeting is Wednesday evening, Lime Street Community Center at Lime Street Park, 7:30 p.m. And it's simply a matter at that point of seeing if there's enough interest to get a petition drive going.
Appreciate it. Nice to have you on the show. We got to put a plug in for your show. The name of it, of course, is High Desert Spotlight. I know what the name of the show is.
Yes, next week on the show will be Heidi Larkin, the mayor of Apple Valley, and it'll be a one-on-one, Heidi and I, with me asking her questions about the city.
Terrific.
This coming Sunday.
Yes, terrific. Appreciate it very much.
All
Good to see you. We'll be back with the doctor. The doctor is in, and we'll talk to Dennis Shepers when we come back.